Hello everyone, it is Christine here and I am back with a secondhand slow stitching textile fibre art haul of goodies. I often share these as part of Thrifty Thursday. I'm filming this on a Sunday, so we'll call it Secondhand Sunday for something a bit different. And I want to talk through some of the places here in Australia that I like to source my secondhand goodies for my slow stitching, for my textile and fibre art. And the first of those is Facebook Marketplace. So I'll show you some of the fabrics I've got from this particular seller on Facebook Marketplace while I talk about, in case you haven't come across Facebook Marketplace, just how it works. So I loved this fabric that I spotted, and then I think this was the first one I spotted, and then I looked at what else the seller had available and picked out some others. And I like to be part of some of the groups. There's one called, I think, Vintage Fabric D-Stash, which has particularly lovely things because I do love my more vintage fabrics. I'm really on the lookout at the moment for really bright and vibrant because I'm kind of going through a bit of a bright and vibrant phase at the moment in my creating. So I'm happy to add a few of these to the mix. And it's good to be part of some of those groups because some people will only sort of sell through posts in those groups. And you get to kind of know people, and so it does feel a bit safer than the general Facebook Marketplace, which I guess on there, if you are sending money to someone and expecting them to send you something, there is a chance that that someone might not go through with that. So far I have been, touch wood, incredibly lucky in that I've had no one not deliver on something that I have paid for. There is the option on Facebook Marketplace as well just to shop in your sort of local area, and then you can go and pick up and pay cash for the goods when you pick them up. And some sellers actually only do that on Facebook Marketplace in that they don't want to do any of the internet banking payments, but you can use PayPal, and that has some protections in it. If when you do your payments you actually indicate that they are for a product, and then that way if the product isn't furnished to you, I think PayPal does provide some protections. But I just absolutely love these fabrics. Isn't this such a beautiful fabric? This reminds me of my friend Dottie B, Sally from Dottie B, and our lovely friend Kristy as well. And this is a beautiful piece of bark cloth here, 1 metre by 90 centimetres. So this is a lovely lady that was, sort of, I guess, de-stashing some of her very vintage goodies. And I just think this is going to be fabulous for my, I don't know if it's actually got some strawberries there, raspberries, aren't they? Let's have a look. I was wondering if it would have some strawberries on it for my, but I think that could almost pass as a strawberry, I think, for my upcoming strawberry project. But yeah, lovely. It's funny, I just got a little smell then that reminded me of my lovely Nana. It must be the smell of fabric and a bit of age mixed into it, and it just gave me a lovely sense of my Nana and Grandpa's house. I could almost smell the spare room where Nana kept a lot of her fabrics. Isn't it funny how smells can just transport you in the moment? So yeah, that's beautiful, really lovely bark cloth. And then there was this piece of lovely, I'm pretty sure it's a linen, I can't remember what it was at the time, but I just thought that was a beautiful design. Sometimes it's hard to tell on sites like Facebook Marketplace, but I guess any of the online sites, it's sometimes hard to tell what size the print is. I possibly, when I was looking at this, thought I might be able to kind of stitch into some of the flowers. They might be a bit too small for that, but I think it would be a lovely lining or just a component in a stitch project. And there's lots of that, so that's one that I can definitely share with others. So yeah, Facebook Marketplace, you can search, you can narrow the geographic area, but I particularly like to be part of a couple of groups where I feel that it's a trusted environment where people are looking out for any scammers and would report it. And I've got to know some people through the Vintage Fabric D-Stash group. In fact, the lovely Beck from Be Curated. I often see her buying doilies on that same group, and sometimes probably not so much fabrics, but she's got her fabric shop. And then another place I love to buy from is the Sewing Lair, and the Sewing Lair is, let me just lean on in. So yeah, the sewinglair.com.au. Thank you for shopping sustainably with us and supporting our charity in our mission to reclaim, reuse and repurpose fabric and craft supplies. Thanks for your huge order. I love the sewing Lair team. So yeah, that's a sweet little one. And they generally list goodies on a Wednesday and on a Sunday around sort of, I think, 1 o'clock on a Sunday. I can't remember what time they usually do on a Wednesday. So some people might go there out of those times and find there's not much to purchase. But if you go at those times, I'll often find things. So I try and not look all the time. But when I saw this lovely, again, a lovely vintage but very bright fabric, it's got a really lovely feel. It almost feels a little bit like a Liberty. It's got that really beautiful fineness to it. Sorry, I just dropped something on the floor. I'll just lean down and get that. I think I might have previously purchased some of this fabric actually, and I can always, or actually can never resist getting any that are sort of like patchwork style. That's kind of what appealed to me in this one as well, because it's almost like sort of patches. And this one will be great to do some, some stitching into, even to put just a little bit of this in a frame and then stitch into and bead, etc. Could be a lovely, lovely little project. So yeah, this one got a lovely, it's obviously a much softer one, softer colours than the other one, but I like those patchworky style fabrics, because if you want to use it in something, you can even just add some stitching and it does look like it's from a quilt. And then this was another fabric from the sewing Lair. Don't know if any of these have anything on their selvage that would tell us what they are. I can't see a selvage with any info, but again, this kind of reminded me of a Liberty print, and I just thought it was really, really pretty, and it does have that nice brightness to it as well. And speaking of other fabrics from the sewing Lair, this one I think I got an absolute bargain on. I think this was only a few dollars, and it said on the site 24 assorted squares. I couldn't tell what size they were, but this is actually a big pack, almost like I think it's a layer cake essentially. So much bigger than the small charm squares, which I thought it might be. They did have the measurements, but I never kind of do measurements in my head that well when I'm online shopping. But let's just have a look at what we've got in here. I'm feeling pretty stoked. So those two are the same. And then we've got two of the lovely purples. 3 of the lovely purples. So maybe there were 3 of each originally. So maybe this is a layer cake that's had some used out of it. And then these lovely roses. These purples remind me of my dear friend Kristy from Sew Bits Kristy. Hopefully we might be having a chat later this evening with my lovely friends Kristy and Sally. We like to, if we can all get together, we have a little call on Messenger on a Sunday evening. Another beautiful one, so just a different colourway in those beautiful tulips. And again, the same design as the purples, but on a beautiful greeny teal. So I think there's 3 of those. So yeah, probably the layer cake originally had 3 of each. But I won't say no to having the leftovers, 2 of those. Well, isn't that beautiful? Reminds me of Japanese sort of fabric. 2 of those. Again, this beautiful, like a wildflower field. And I love that the sewing Lair now is wrapping its goodies in old vintage patterns, which is a lovely way to receive them. I did have a peek, so I haven't done the opening on camera. And yep, some more of the beautiful tulips. So I am absolutely stoked with that. I might keep that together with its pile. And then my other fabricy bit, but not really fabric in the true sense, was a bag of mixed cross-stitching-y type fabrics. But some of these I think are good to also do some of my fibre and textile art into as well. I was thinking some of it could potentially be good for punch needle, and I just liked that it was a mix, a variety of different fabrics. This one's like a hessian, but it's actually a really nice finely woven hessian, and a beautiful almost a grey flaxy colour. Beautiful pink, and again it's just feels lovely. And then this one, and then a hemmed piece of natural calico. So yeah, again, that's a very, very handy little bunch of goodies to have. They also have a range of other crafty things, and I got this Beyond the Page scrapbooking organizer, which is still all packaged up, needs to be put together. Looks like it's just one of those clip and put togethers, but I thought that could be kind of handy to put some of my things like my scissors in, and it looks like I can put some of my jars or buttons. I can even have, if I've got some ribbons and things I want to poke out, some more ribbons or threads or things like that. So I thought I could definitely make use of that. I assume I'll need to, I don't think it includes any of the decorating elements. So this might even be a project where I can cover it with lovely fabric. Maybe even one of the fabrics that I got. Wouldn't it be nice in that one? Or indeed even in this one. But I think this one's a bit of a tighter weave than this one. So yeah, that's a project for another day. The other thing they often have is lovely buttons. Let me just grab a tin lid to put our buttons into. So this was just a bag and very reasonably priced. Yeah, a few dollars for lots of these things. The fabric's certainly a lot cheaper than buying fabric new, and you're getting really nice ones that others won't have. And you can tell these buttons have originally been on clothing, so they definitely do have some age, because even that piece of clothing has a decent amount of age in it. So lovely little shell glistening buttons, and you just get such a good variety. Like you just wouldn't get that if you went into a shop to try and get some metal buttons. And these little shank buttons are great to put as little clasps on your pouch, and then you can just have a little hook that wraps around, a little bit of thread that you wrap around it, or a little end that you wrap around. Look at this beautiful one. Looks almost like a pearl ring. Isn't that lovely? That would be lovely as well in one of my textile coral reef pieces. So yeah, that's a nice little collection of metal beads, and I liked the white, the brightness of those. And then there was another one of very old looking, and they are so heavy. Let me just get those ones out. And these ones looked almost like sort of military wreaths, but they've definitely got age and weight in them, and they look quite rustic in their manufacture. And yeah, they've got a bit of discoloration on a couple of them, so I think they're quite old, I think. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on those. Very heavy though, very lovely. I might put those in with my other ones, because I think the two of them can go together. Put those over there. And then they often have braids, and again, getting very good prices for them. They'll tell you how long they are. And I just thought this could be a fun one to incorporate into some of my stitching projects. You can just cut off an individual flower and use it. You can then add your own stitching over it. If you don't want the silvery, you could then go around and add your own non-sort of silvery metallic looks. I don't have much of this bias binding in my stash, and I just thought it might be kind of cool to have some of it to use either as bias binding, but my lovely friend Sally, I think, used it in one of her whimsical wearables, or was it Velita that I saw using it? I think it was both. I think maybe both of them used it. But yeah, you can use it in all sorts of goodies. And yeah, so you can see a price on this one, $2. So for 2.7 metres plus 1.8 metres, so it's got two lengths in here for $2. This beautiful vintage trim. Now let me just re-click back in to make sure we're staying in focus, and I might have to bring it up and put it back in focus. So yeah, you can definitely get some real bargains, and this will be great both in my slow stitching but also in my textile and fibre art pieces. I love my rickracks, and so when I see different versions of rickrack like this one with a lovely little, I'll just zoom you in, with this lovely little puffy detail, almost like little mini tassels coming out of it. And I'll click you back in, focus back in again. And then this bundle of all different goldy ones, and there's some quite old ones, because I've got some bundles that's a more modern one, I think. This one I think is quite quite old, 2.5 meters of this beautiful gold. These ones definitely are very old. They're very similar to what I got at the embroiderers gold guild D-stash, and they've actually got metallics in them. You can feel it's got the actual gold wire in it. So 5.5 meters of that. That is fabulous. And then a black one, lovely yellow. Again, that reminds me of my friend Sally Dotty B. And then this very fine greeny one of a gimp. That's what it's called, gimp. And then 3 different ones. And I think in this, I think the purple one might be a more modern one, but I think that one's a very old one as well. And that one's an old one as well. That's probably just that's a vintage one. These ones I think are getting into your antique ones. And then this purple one's probably a more modern one because I can feel that the silvery bits, they're not the actual sort of metallics that you get in some of the others. Yeah. And this has been attached onto something, so this has actually come off something as well, which is interesting. So it's been removed from something. So that's a lovely little collection of braids. And then I've got another bias binding. I got that in that maroony colour because I do have my family heirloom quilt, which has that sort of colour scheme in it. And then I got this silvery one that I thought just might be fun for Christmas sort of festive ones. And then I got this big bundle of threads and wooden bobbin winders. So let's take a look at this. And it had it had a couple of little sort of more novelty shapes. So a little bird, isn't that lovely? Little fox and a little mushroom. Sorry, I'll just click to make sure we're in focus. And they've got beautiful variegated threads on them. So I was mainly getting them for the threads, but I thought, hey, it'd be nice to have some nice little wooden ones, even just to put just your sort of working threads on. So cottage garden, so they're very good threads. Cottage garden, so I think most of them are variegated, lovely variegated. Again, cottage garden. This one's a Gloriana hand-dyed ribbons and threads for fine needlework. Oh, made in France. Imported ribbons and threads hand-dyed in USA, but the silk is from France, I guess. And then this one, Thread Works, overdyed floss. And then there's some spare wooden cards. And then this one is a rayon. These are the ones that I got I got some beautiful lengths of them in a special thread holder for this type of thread, which is used for Brazilian embroidery, I think. And it's lovely. It's really luminous. A DMC variegated, a cottage garden, an anchor, variegated one there. Another one of the Del Mar ones, cottage garden. Another one of those Brazilian embroidery ones. Isn't that lovely? Look at the different greens in that. It's funny, just a tiny amount saved. It's kind of so special, and it's got someone else's writing on it. So yeah, it's a bit special. You feel a bit honoured to kind of become the custodian of someone else's treasures, and it's just it is lovely giving them life, and I get to play with some lovely other threads. And often this is all you need to do a piece. It's not like we need huge quantities. We're not doing a massive tapestry where we need all the same colours. So it's such a fun way to engage. Now, the other source I want to talk about tonight, and there's so many more and so many other sellers, but is a lady called Tammy, and she has a Facebook group called Vintage Inspired People. I'm just going to take it out of its plastic bag. I didn't leave anything in there, did I? Oh no, there's something down the bottom. And I'm managing to drop things on the ground. It's all happening here. Hang on, let me just pick some things up. And pop them over here. So, from Tammy, and let me get my little bag of my little tin to put buttons in so we can have a look at them. And she has these little labels on them because she obviously manages a huge stock. So she periodically has a sale where she'll sort of open it at like 8 p.m. or 8:30, and then people that are part of her group can say sold or yes below them, and then she'll tally them all up and you pay her and she sends them to you. And she is just, yeah, such a fabulous seller. She's got such good prices on her things. She'll often reduce down what she doesn't sell, so a lot of what I've got here will be in that category as well. So isn't that beautiful? I think that was the one that I really spotted and I thought, oh yes, I'll get that metal collection, but that one's lovely as well. It's always hard to kind of get these ones to focus in. Maybe I should put them on here and then bring the tray up actually, but you might be able to see them better. Then you can kind of look at the ones that you want to look at. Let me just see if we can get a bit of focusing. It's probably going to be a bit hard. But yeah, there's a lovely little crown, lots of crests. That's like a little hat or something. But yeah, I love this one. Again, it just doesn't want to kind of focus that well. So that's a lovely little bag. In fact, I'll probably now merge them in with my other metal buttons. I need to do a big button sort one day, so I might invite you along for if you like watching buttons being sorted. And so, yeah, I don't know if some of these prices would have been where it's been further reduced down since them, but say $3. And she had flagged that it has one little mark that's down here. But I just loved the colour of it. Let me just bring you around a bit more just to make sure we're going to stay and get ourselves back in focus. I might just bring you actually over a bit more this way and bring you up. See if that's going to be better. Just move these ones out of the way as well. And then there's a Christmas little cloth. I'm going to just take it out of its bag on camera so I don't rustle you all around. And so this has all been stitched, which is amazing. All hand stitched. How lovely is that? And it's never been used, but I like it, yeah, Christmas time to have some nice linens in some nice little hand towel to put out. But again, yeah, I think a few dollars for those. This one's $6 for 12 glass coasters. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love to use these as little pockets. When I first found them, I didn't actually know what they were, but kind of worked out, I think, or maybe someone helped me knowing that they were little glass coasters. These are still all starched and lovely, so I don't think they've ever been used. I think they're all the same design. Yep. So that will give me plenty to go on with. Let's take the labels off. This is a sweet little, I think it's a pocket. It's already been made into a little pocket. Isn't that cute with the cherries on it? So seeing I've got my strawberry but possibly berry project coming up, or there might be a separate cherry project or berry project. I am collecting things. And this lovely one, I do, yeah, just love these little linen towels that have beautiful designs. And I love these sort of window designs that are just so delicately done. They are amazing. I'm just going to make sure we are focusing in. Don't know if I should bring you down a little bit, but then you might not see the whole of the things. It's hard to get the perfect. So some of these were $5. $5 for that one as well. Again, just beautiful cross stitching on it. Lovely pink. Look at those, and just the beautiful detail. And then some unfinished or unstarted cloths. And yeah, I'll include links to Sewing Lair and the Vintage Fabric Facebook group and the Vintage Inspired People, Tammy, who I got this from. I'll include them in the description below this video. So don't worry if you didn't catch it at the time. And then this one was $6 and it has some marks, and I think it's an unfinished embroidery, but it is huge. And it's on a beautiful linen. Probably won't be able to fit it all on camera. Let me also angle my light down. I just realised the light wasn't really helping us to the greatest extent that it could. Actually wondering how can I best get the light sitting where I want it. So yeah, massive cloth. And so someone's started some work on it, but I'll be able to carry it on. As Tammy says, it's got some little stains on it, but that's an absolute bargain for that. And even just being able to cut out and use some of the flowers, or indeed stitch them and make it into my own cloth. And you can then just put some little design elements over where it's got staining. So just give that a little fold. Put that down here. Move that out of the way. And then another partially completed massive cloth. I think I got this one because I spotted the birds, and I was like, nope, I've got to have that. It's sort of those more oriental style designs. It's got beautiful edging on it already. Someone's done all the stitching around there. They've stitched some of the elements in blue. So I think this is meant to be an entirely just, blue and the natural colour of the cloth. So I'll have to see if I've got, I think there is a little bit of staining on it, and I wouldn't wash it now because it might be one of those cloths where the design disappears when you wash it. So I'll have a think how I want to use it first, and then I think if I want to stitch it as a cloth, I can stitch all around, and who knows whether that little bit of staining would actually come out in the mix, or otherwise, as I say, you just make it part of it and you put some additional little design elements, put some little clouds around it, and just make it part of the design. Or you could also dye the cloth as well. But again, I wouldn't want to do that with water if it was going to take away the design. Or you could test and just see how it's going to go. And then 2 of these unfinished little doilies. So this one's got just little fuchsias on it, and this one's got a little bouquet. But I quite like these in their uncut form because I think they're beautiful to be able to include in some of our projects as well. And just to be able to stitch and continue someone else's work is something that I think is very, very special. I'm going to open another package. As I say, this was sort of saved up from the discounted items from a previous sale, and then I did get very lucky in that I got a lot of lovely goodies. But it's one of those sites where you have to be quick because, she posts each of the albums that she puts them in, and everyone's madly posting sold on what they want. So this is just a lovely little tablecloth. This is a pillowcase, and it's got the most beautiful buttons on it, and it's the most lovely fabric. So beautiful mother of pearl buttons, and it is thick and really, really lovely. And it's got lovely pulled thread work down here. I think it's got a little storage mark. I don't think it's ever actually been used, so it's lovely. It's got that very sort of starch look, but the fabric is just absolutely beautiful. And a little doily there with orange, and I liked these ones because they just had different coloured trims that coordinated with them. I think some of these were definitely the ones that had been marked down. This one I wanted because it had these beautiful birds on it. Very old. It's actually got a little bit of sort of like staining on it. It'd be a lovely one to maybe add some some ink tints to, or possibly I'll give it a soak and see if the staining comes out. But otherwise maybe I could colour it up. It would be lovely as a blue as well, actually. And then this is a 2-sided cover, or really would have been probably for a cover for a teapot or something. But beautiful, very old, and a beautiful flower design on that. And with something like this, you could take it apart. I think if it's just sewn together, or no, actually no, it's been crocheted together at the joins. I was thinking otherwise you could turn it into like a bigger sort of round one, or you could turn it into just a lovely little pillow by putting make a pillow insert that sort of shape. Or otherwise just incorporating into a stitch piece. I wouldn't cut into this one, and it's got a few little stains, so I'll probably give it a soak and see how it fares. This one I had seen on her preview. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it has these beautiful little birds on it that is just so sweet. So that was one that I was looking for, and as she loads them, sometimes you're thinking, oh, where's that thing that I'm really looking for, and you're madly scanning and trying to pick up the things that you spot as you go. This is a lovely, I think this could be, yeah, this is a machine embroidered one, but still beautiful design. Taking the labels off as we go. Beautiful old, and yeah, I liked some of these because, and I think they were all in a bunch for $5 or something, because they're just, yeah, very old and just beautiful handwork that's been done on them. And then I got, and I'm going to take the plastic, take it out of its plastic away from you so you don't have to put up with that. Some beautiful placemats. Featuring these lovely applique design, and then it's got the little napkin, and this one's never been because it's actually got a pin holding it in place, which I might take out because sometimes the pins can rust and you don't want rust in your piece. So just put that pin somewhere else. So that's gorgeous. And then another one here, which I think has two in it actually. So it's got, or is that the placemat? Nope, they're both placemats there. So as in, yeah, placemats with the little place to put them. I must have picked up some more of the vintage bias binding from Tammy as well. And then there was another one of these ones, complete with, and they were $6 for those, which is very good to be complete with the napkin for that price. Very fair pricing. And yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these. I think the ones with the napkin and the placemat, it does seem a shame to kind of use them in your stitch pieces, because I just think they are so lovely. But I don't know. We tend to make a bit too much mess when we're eating, so I don't know if I'd want to use them on our table. And then Tammy had some big lots of sort of like damaged pieces, and I picked up some of those. So this is 12 pieces in this. So these were real bargains, I think, because you're just getting lots of lovely pieces that you can chop up and use because they're damaged, or you can try and sort of, yeah, remove the stains. But I like to have things that have a bit of damage on them because then I don't feel so bad about chopping into them. So this is a beautiful linen, and you're getting the lovely lace work on it as well. So that's a bargain. Are they little birds? I thought maybe they were little birds. So you can see some of them have got damage to that, but it doesn't stop you using the other parts of them. Even that damage is something that I actually love. I love the age. I love the fact that it's used. I love the fact that this is already coming apart here, but you've got so much beauty in it. Whoops, just managed to catch them all together. You've got lovely stitching detail. There's a lovely embossed sort of design on it. And as I say, just these little elements where someone has spent so much time creating, it almost seems a shame to kind of, yeah, get rid of them in a big bulk lot of damaged pieces. So the yellowing on this would not worry me at all. I'd very happily use this as a piece to do some little stitch designs in. This one's lovely. It's got a butterfly. I think that's a butterfly design. I think. Sometimes hard to tell if you don't have it up against anything. Or maybe it's just like a French design, or is it meant to be something up that way? Yeah, I think it's just like a, not a logo, a emblem sort of design. So these are very old, and this beautiful work on the edge, this tatting, is absolutely gorgeous, and it's just such fine work. So there's some real treasures in here. And yeah, ones like that, if these are stained and I don't want that stained look, which I actually don't mind, you can absolutely dye these things as well with ink tints, or with other things. You can just get a lovely look. In fact, let me just grab one behind me. I think I picked it up and put it over here. Yes, I did. This is one I painted at the Fleur Woods workshop. But look at the beauty that you can create from something that might be stained into something that's colourful and vibrant and fun. This one's lovely. Look at this. And so again, just some tiny little stains, but I feel like I've got such a bargain with these because the work around the edge is just stunning. Even just the little stitches across here, the pulled thread work, and the linen is just divine. So these are bargain bundles. Beautiful one here. And then here, a tray cloth. Again, it's got staining that might or might not come out. Possibly it was used maybe on the back of a chair, or maybe that's where someone was putting their head. But you've got so many beautiful elements, and yeah, if the staining bothers you, just colour it up. Beautiful one, probably got a little bit of a rust staining, but again, lovely edging. And just these little elements can be cut out and used. Wow, look at this one. That is huge. Okay, it's a big pillowcase. And again, let's have a look at the buttons. The buttons are within it. And these are beautiful, by the looks of it. Yep, beautiful fabric covered buttons. So very vintage, beautiful work on it. Some little stains here and there, but just the most lovely cotton. See, I would happily use that even in its current form. Something like that. The one little stain would not. Oh, it's got another little stain over there. But again, you could think about dyeing it, or otherwise I can use it in my stitchery and cut into it. But I just think that's really beautiful. Just lovely. Even the work around here and the pulled thread work. So that was one of the bundles of bargain goodies, and then this one was number 2 and 8 pieces. So I'll just. So I do look out for sort of, big lots of things because, for those of us that are planning to cut some of our things up, we don't want to be getting things that are absolutely perfect all the time because it makes it harder to chop into them. So this lovely green. And then again, just the edge work around it is gorgeous. Beautiful blue. Little one, and some of them it's really hard to see where the damage is in them. Isn't this lovely? The blue work around the edge as well, just so many tiny little blanket stitches or overcast stitches. I think these are actually blanket stitch though, and the little eyelets along there. I know how hard it is to do neat eyelets, having done that in our stitch along, the dictionary of stitches. Another one of these beautiful ones. It's got a little bit of staining there, but again, I would happily use that or dye that. Lovely little cloth. This one's a beautiful soft pinky colour. It doesn't have staining. That's what you're seeing through it. So that's possibly just got a little stain down there. This one's a massive tablecloth with the most beautiful stitching on it and beautiful flowers. So that it is big. So there's a lot. Oh no, it's not even a tablecloth. It is maybe it's a big. Oh, it's 2 pillows. Isn't that lovely? 2 pillows. And so there's 4 on each. And it obviously had ties, but again, just beautiful pulled thread work around there. Lovely edging on them. Oh yeah, and this has got some little holes in it. So this will definitely be one to save and use the flowers from. I can see someone I think has done some darning there, or it's possibly got a hole where it's worn through there. So, and it's got a little tear there. So they will be lovely to savour and to use in projects. And you've got all that lovely. Again, it's just the softest cotton, probably because it has been so well used. It may even be quite fragile when I come to use it, but so soft. That one I had already looked at with you, yes. And then this is number 4, and it's got 15 pieces in it. So what have we got here? So lots of doilies. Again, I could like to get ones with interesting shapes, so hexagons. That could be nice to intersperse with some hexies, like fabric hexies. This one's got some staining on it, whether it's almost looks like a sort of a metallic-y staining. This one, again, these leaf elements are lovely to use, so you can harvest from it. Oops, I've still got some tape attached to that one. So again, these, I can give them a soak, see how they go, dye them up or use them in their existing form. This one's got a hole in it. But yeah, I got these as my cutter collection. Lots and lots of doilies, and it looks like I've got another lovely, oh, there's some hidden things in here too. Oh, lots of things hidden within, treasures to be found. Oh, look at this one. Look how beautiful and fine the work is on that. I think that's the front. Yep, so it's got a little tear there. I almost feel like I want to repair that little tear because it's just absolutely beautiful. And then some other ones. Another very fine, gorgeous work on this one. Can't see anything wrong with that one. And this one, again, super fine work. There's a few little pulls. Some lovely butterflies. Doily. And then this one, oh yeah, this one's got some quite significant sort of little damage to it. But again, beautiful fabric around the outside. And just gorgeous cotton. So whether I want to give it a soak and make sure these aren't going to kind of transfer any staining to anything else, but I assume they probably are just something that's happened in age marks or storage or something like that. So we'll give it a soak and see how it goes. But otherwise, that wouldn't worry me in a piece anyway. If I'm using it as a base fabric, it's not going to cause problems for me unless I'm worried that it's going to sort of continue to spread or cause tarnishing of other fabrics. So 11 pieces in this bundle. So yeah, I think I picked up, oops, and it's coming apart there. I think I picked up most of her, her bundles of goodies because I thought they would be such a fun thing to go through, and just you never know what treasures you get. So I'll go through these quickly. Some more butterfly ones. This is the one that was trying to unravel, but again, I'll be able to use bits of this, like even in my textile and fibre art, like my coral reef. But again, you can just harvest out lots of the elements. Beautiful fine work on this one. So some of these I will want to sort of save and see if I can put them into my sort of my vintage and antique laces piece eventually, that when I get to it. This one is still on its original cotton, so I think I'll want to keep that in its form, even though it's got little staining. I think that would be lovely to add into my project once I work out what it is. So I'm always collecting up sort of examples of interesting crochet and laces and tatting. So this is a big long table runner. Has a lot of, another big on it, another placemat, another table runner, and then some placematty type ones. Oh no, that's a table runner. Again, you can sample out the elements. And then I think I've got another bundle of 10 pieces. What have we got in here? I'll open it all up and then we'll have a look. Don't know where the centre is. Start here. Beautiful pink. It's all starchy. Doesn't look to have any damage on it whatsoever. And then another pink one that does have some little staining. But again, what a beautiful design. Of I think this is meant to, oh, is it those little flowers that I've, not mistletoe. What am I thinking of? The purpley ones that hang down, wisteria. Is it wisteria or is it grapes? Not sure. But just incredible pulled edge work over there as well. Lovely, lovely white. I just feel like it's looking a little bit dark here, so apologies for that. Might just be the vibe today. Maybe it's okay where you're looking. And so yeah, this is a beautiful, maybe I'll just move the light back a bit. Whoops, I think I've just moved did I move the light out of its holder? I don't know if that's any better at all, but anyway, we'll keep going. Sort out the lighting situation for another day. This one, again, beautiful work. I think this is similar to one of the ones in the other bundles. More beautiful, beautiful goodies. And again, if the staining bothers you, you can just be harvesting individual elements or dyeing it. It's got two little stains, but again, just beautiful elements on the edges. So even harvesting those or adding a design to the center and stitching over it. Another one, again, beautiful elements that you can harvest. Got a huge pile next to me now. There'll be a big soak that I need to do to give them a freshen up anyway, which I like to do when I bring things in. That way I know that everything's kind of going away clean. And that way you can also evaluate what is going to remove the stains on and which things are then just going into my harvesting basket. Lovely big table runner, and it's a beautiful, beautiful natural colour and got really lovely stitching on it. Don't know if this has staining on it. No, that's a thread. This seems to be in pretty good condition. Oh, what's it got there? Or is that just... Oh no, that's the thread that was... Not the thread, the tape that was wrapping it up. So yeah, possibly just a little bit of staining, maybe the odd pulled thread. So that's pretty good. And then I got a crochet blanket. Sorry, I'll see if I can get it out without banging the camera with my shoulder. Trying to get it out of the plastic bag. Hang on, let me bring it over here. Oh, and there's some things inside here as well. What is in here? I thought it was just the crochet, but no. We have some other bits and bobs. So we have this was a book I got because I just thought, isn't that dog cute? And I could see myself doing a Travis, although I'd have to do it in black. But then I thought if I did it in black, I could do the embroidery on it. I just thought that was super cute and full-size pattern inside for this dear little dog. And it did say it's got all its patterns in here. So love letter. So I think that might be the dog. Yep, I think that's the dog. Oh no, that's the woolly sheep. Anyway, I'm sure the dog is in there because yeah, it's a full book. When was it from? 1998. So that is vintage as well. And then I got this fabric, which looked really interesting on the screen, and it is. It's like it's got checks, it's got prints. Looks like it's almost got a sort of a printing, like a double up printing error there. And then it's got these little sort of, dots on it. But I love it. I love that it's kind of pixelated, and I think it would be a really interesting base for some stitching into, and there's lots of it. So there's that one. Let me just... Did I notice it had something else? Hang on. I'm just spotting something different on it. Or is this another one? Oh no, it's just this side of it. Oh, isn't that fascinating? So this is the back. Oh, this is another section of it that doesn't have the crisscross design in it. So that's really interesting. Look at that. But it's all the one, yep, all the one fabric. That is really, really interesting. Just kind of fold it up so I can put it back on the desk. And there's lots of it. Can't remember what size that was. And then this one only. And I spotted it, and this was another one I'd spotted sort of pre-sale that I quickly scanned through to find. A beautiful vintage lace. And what did it say on it? Handcraft lace. I've got others sort of probably from this period. Originally it was $20 a metre. Comes up that way, doesn't it? So yeah, I thought they were beautiful because again you could use quantities of them together, and that's pretty good because it's 3.5 meters of it. And then this one is a tablecloth tea set that's never been used. It's got a bit of discolouring, but I thought even just I think it's probably machine done, but I thought with all the flowers all around that would be a good buy. Label of this one. This is a tray cloth, which I think is very similar to some of the ones that were in there, but it's never been opened. And then this one, $14. And I thought these roses, again, I think they're machine done. That even reminded me of a little strawberry. I think I probably had my strawberry project in mind. But I thought that was lovely, and it's all still on its original card. So 4 napkins. and the tablecloth itself. Lovely linen, and that doesn't have any staining. This one is a full set of, you've probably seen some of these doilies come up, which is the, although actually this one I didn't even notice this at the time, but this one is Colonial Girl and Puppy. So it's actually got a little dog in it, which is super cute, because often you'd see the girl, and I just laugh because it's like got cleaning, men day, iron day, baking day, wash day, market day, visiting day. And there's a bit of me that wants to actually do a bit of a take on this and reflect then a modern day girl, because I must admit there is not an iron day for me. I barely iron. I iron my linen. So, but I just thought, oh yeah, this could be a great little one to get. And then there is this one. Let me just take the label off so you could see it. And again, I thought I could see there were, some age marks. It's never been opened, but just look at the beautiful stitching. Again, I think it probably is machine done, but it's really, really lovely stitching on it. And I could definitely use some of these in my stitching projects. And then a sweet little, this one I think was listed as a doll's blanket. And that is just super cute, and I just thought these little flowers were lovely, and it's the perfect size actually, just to sit on my lap, just as a little mini blanket, or possibly turn it into a little project bag. Could be kind of cool as well, a little project pouch. Or even something to put your laptop or iPad or something in. So that is my bundle of treasures. I hope you've enjoyed watching that with me, and I will see you all very soon, and hopefully that's given you some ideas, particularly if you're in Australia. Look below in the description and I'll link to all the various places I have mentioned. Thanks everyone. Bye.